Okay, so One Piece 1138. This is very obviously a big chapter. So I'll leave the obvious panel talking about that to the end. I'll just pull up a picture and kind of just like, I don't know, ramble off my thoughts on everything and what I think the story is for the final saga there. Um, so I'll start with the beginning. So Shamrock, I I didn't like the vibes here. I was getting some Spandam vibes with the sword being Cerberus and everything, and him basically making Gunko do all the work because he didn't really do anything, and the sword kind of did everything for him, which I really don't want. I want to see like a Shamrock versus Shanks or something at some point. I don't know. Before this character was confirmed to exist, I always assumed that Garling was going to be the one to kill Shanks, and like Blackbeard would probably kill like Garp or somebody, and that's kind of like a big motivation for Luffy to fight back in the end battles. Like, for if Shanks is killed by Garling, then he'll rightfully be upset and want to get back at the world government. Although I guess he doesn't really need a reason to fight back against the world government, since him just existing, they're out to get him. So, but yeah, I don't know. I just his attitude was very, celestial dragon, but that kind of comes with all of them, I guess, and everything. So it was just giving me Spandam vibes. So until he shows that he can do hockey or something else, then you know I'll feel better about it. But I mean, in the end, I trust Oda's writing too. So even if he is a character like Spandam, then I'll live with it and get over it and hope it works out. Not everybody can be a badass fighter all the time. But Cerberus itself, Oda always finds weird ways to use. I feel like it's always mythological beasts. Like he had the freaking, what was it, Triceratops be a helicopter, and like just that whole bit in Wano of like, oh, this is how this dinosaur used to hunt back in the old day. Oh my gosh. Oh right, the pterodactyl like flinging its net. Oh my gosh. And here we have the Cerberus's head detaching and being like a missile, like some kind of like guided missile rockets or something, with the sword coming out of its mouth. It was something else. So that made me laugh. But then he calls for Gunko to summon or call, I guess is the word that the translation that I was reading used. And so this more to me, it at least confirms to me, like, because I had the theory that Garling is kind of like, he's powerful of his own right, and that's why the Gorosei fear him, and that if the Gorosei are using borrowed power from Emu, and if the Gods Knights are using borrowed power from Emu, then that more just confirms to me that Gungo's power does derive from Emu giving it to her, and then whoever we see summoned, I think, will further, like, it'll either further make me believe that or not, depending on what their power will be. I really like how Oda's been. She's very versatile with these arrows. I was not expecting her to make a bird and then be able to fly on them, but it makes a lot of sense that, it's just pushing in whatever direction she wants it to go in. So, it makes sense that she'd be able to fly with it, but I just wasn't expecting it. So, I just said, I guess it's my own envy for his writing and how creative he is, and I just don't think of ways to use powers like that, I guess. So I just need to get more creative in my own right. But yeah, I'm curious to see if we'll see exactly how the summoning ability works. Since they're not just summoning them in front of Loki, I assume that means that they need to go back to the castle to summon. So that I assume that means that they can only summon in certain spots, and maybe that'll be finally like I'll be like, oh, okay, so that's why they're not appearing all over the world, type thing. So, and yeah, so hopefully that's the case. Although since Emu's been around for ages, you would think that they could have planted these summoning spots places if that's how it works too. But anyways, I'll wait and see before complaining or saying anything. I did like how when we get back to the castle and they're talking to the guards that were attacked, that they don't we don't get this whole kind of like runaround plot of, oh, well, it could be Shanks that did this or not. Like, Luffy immediately is like, nope, couldn't be Shanks. And, like, everybody kind of believes him and goes with it. So I get kind of tired of the, those plots that are very clearly, I don't know. It's just, it's frustrating sometimes when they're all like, no, it's got to be this guy. But no, I believed it was that. I don't know what to call it right now. But anyways, I'm just rambling for that. But yeah, no, I liked how immediately we were like, nope, it's got to be Shanks' brother. And we went with it. And sure enough, yeah, that's the case. It also seems like a lot of people were right that the mysterious figure guy that we still don't know exactly who it is was connected to Roger because he shows up on the panel walking towards the castle when they're referring to the Roger pirates. So to me, that's foreshadowing for that. And so I'm guessing he's one of the Roger pirates. The only one I can think of off the top of my head is Gabon, however it's pronounced. And I guess he's just gotten like a huge head of hair from what he was on Roger's crew. And I mean, that all makes sense to me. I mean, when he was first shown, he was chatting it up with the old man in the whale, so who was also on Roger's crew. So it all kind of ties back to that. So that I don't think that's that big of a revelation, but it'll be nice to exactly see who it is. I mean, there were a lot more than that we didn't really get any knowledge of or anything about. So that's why I'm assuming it's him. But, in those flashbacks to Roger's crew, there's a ton of different people that we don't know anything about really yet. So, who knows? Maybe we'll get a whole new storyline there. So, but I don't honestly know what a new storyline could lead to at this point either. So, since we're all kind of tying everything together of what's already existed. And I think that all that leaves left is the painting in the end. I think the best way I can just roll off for this is just pull up the picture of it and kind of speculate what we're looking at. So I'm like, to start off, I think the god of the earth, and I don't know why it uses two different words, the god of the forest and the god of the earth seem like the same person, or maybe the god of the earth is someone. Either way, Emu is related here to this, like the god of the earth was angered and became enraged and, enveloped the world in death and darkness with the Serpent of Hell. So the Serpent of Hell seems pretty obvious to me that it's the red line, and this is the only part that I guess I don't get. I thought that the civilization was on top of the red line to begin with, the ancient civilization, but to me, it looks like there was a giant, like, world tree, and then the civilization was on top of the world tree, because I think this demon in the middle that's blowing fire back and forth with the red line is that civilization. And they just lived at the top of the tree, and it would make sense, that they were the most advanced civilization at the time or something, if they had a ton of resources and everything else, and they were just well known. So what I'm guessing is that Emu, if they are the god of the earth, or, maybe their servant or whatever, I don't know, reincarnation of it, like Nika is, they tricked the people who live down below, because all these people supplying power, which I assume is nuclear power from the civilization, because that looks like the ancient civilization that was more modernized on the right, and all the kings or the people that are working to supply the nuclear power, the mother flame to Emu to rise up. It also looks like they're riding on the back of Zunisha, so I guess Zunisha, that was the crime, is they helped. The only thing I don't understand here is why Noah is in Zunisha. It's all like, if the world was flooding because of something Emu was doing, I assume using your Uranus. Although the lightning bolt looks like it's coming from a flying ship. So, and the only flying ship that I can think of that was in this was from Enel on Skypiea, but I thought he made that ship. So maybe he recreated it from something that existed, or maybe it was just broken and he was using the gold to repair it. I'm not quite sure, but I guess Enel's power makes sense, because that's exactly... Oh man, those theories about Enel being... Because when that island blew up that Sabo, was supposed to be on or whatever, when they were blowing up that island, that looked exactly like Enel's power when he fired it off on Skypiea. So I guess those theories have to be right to some regard. So maybe they're somehow amplifying Enel's power with... That'd be really funny if Enel flew off Skypiea, got captured by Emu, and Emu was all like, oh, that's one of the ancient weapons I've been looking for. And then... I don't know, like, they killed Enel to steal his power, because he was not that powerful. Or maybe he's just a conduit for the machine, and, like, it amplifies his power, and he's just kind of, like, suspended somewhere in the machine, or they liquefied him or something, kind of, like, I don't even know, stole his fruit and then used it. So it makes sense why they weren't sinking islands up until this point. So if they just only recently captured Enel, and then they're all like, oh, we need to get the mother flame going again to to use this weapon that we just that just kind of got delivered into our hands, then that makes a lot of sense to me. That's where it comes from. The moon at the top, I can't quite understand if that's supposed to be somebody else in this, or it's just supposed to be the Lunarians, kind of like being the pinnacle of civilization at the time. But yeah, I'm not sure, because it's got the same little nuclear energy balls around it. So maybe that's just to symbolize that they already had this power, and that the people down below are creating it to steal it or something. So I don't know. I also believe on this side it doesn't look like Joyboy was a part of the original war here of Emu rising up to attack the civilization on top of the tree. And I guess that makes sense. I just the Noah's Ark thing is drawing is where I'm getting confused at, of because the poneglyph down in Fishman Island was thinking Joyboy. So Joyboy was a part of that, and he was a part of, he was friends with Zunisha before Zunisha betrayed them. So I'm guessing Zunisha just made a mistake or something. I don't know. Or maybe Emu worked with Joyboy and they thought they were friends before, and something happened, betrayed. So, but that leads me to the left side of the picture, and I'm guessing the demon now is Emu on the left side. I don't know how it couldn't be Emu, because it's wielding the mother flame and using it against Joyboy and all of his allies as they fight them. You have the giants here. You have the Oni, which I assume is some ancestor of Or's, And then you have like, I mean, all of Luffy's allies. It looks like the minks, mermaids, or mermen, and Tontata, I think, is the little person that's kind of in the middle there. These civilizations, I don't quite know what they represent. I mean, here's the big robot guy that we already saw. That looks like another mink at the top, and that looks like the Lunarians at the top. The people on the whale, I'm not too sure about. But since Luffy befriended the whale, I guess he's kind of repeating Joyboy's journey and befriending the same people he did. So I'm guessing that it's just he's repeating the journey and everything. So I'm guessing these symbolize Alabasta, and then I guess these are just all giants down below. They look like the same kind of Viking ships. So, so yeah, and then these on the left, this ship on the left, I guess, is the God's Knights, I would guess, and that's Emu having granted his power, or it could just symbolize the civilizations after they've already risen up, and these are the warriors who helped fight by his side in the original war. So the only thing I don't know is like, did Joyboy not have his power, and did he not represent the civilization in the original, like rise up of Emu and the Red Line and everything? So I don't know. So to sum it all up, to me it looks like the world was flooding, probably because of something Emu was doing with that he's already continuing to do now. And he tricked the civilizations to helping him get power and weapons and everything while he was sinking their civilization, basically. The Red Line was created to, I don't know, divide the world to make it easier to attack the civilization on top of the tree. That probably still exists inside the Red Line. Maybe it's to contain the tree. And then Joyboy was kind of the last, like, he united everybody that was left, that the resistance that was left that was trying to fight Emu and his God's Knights, and those civilizations fought back, and that's what the one on the left here is. So, but yeah, and then the third world very clearly is just our story now, as Luffy returning, everybody coming back together, and we'll see how the story ends. The new dawn is coming, which I assume is how the story will end, but you never know. It's Oda, so he might twist something at the end. It's supposed to be, Laugh Tale's supposed to be funny, so I guess we'll see what happens when we get there. So, but yeah, those are my thoughts on it. I mean, from this point on, I really thought somebody was going to say Loki this chapter, and that never happened. So I guess they'll just find him, half dead later on, in the middle of the forest. And yeah, I don't know what's gonna go on there, but it looks like evil Shanks there, Shamrock, is gonna attack the school with Robin in it, and Frankie will probably come back to help Robin. I think Brooke's around there too, and Sanji. So we'll probably see them kind of duke it out. Although they need a summon, they're gonna go. So maybe they'll confront Luffy at the castle first. So I mean, the next chapter I think is for sure going to be the reveal of the mysterious figure and probably talking to Luffy, and then Shamrock's probably gonna crash whatever talk that is, and they'll summon another God's Knight who will have some mysterious power, while I assume Gunko will fight Luffy because she seems pretty evenly matched power-wise. She seems to use her power in a lot of ways that he does, so I think that's the case of what will be. And you know, since Swordman's there, I assume Cerberus will fight Zoro. So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to expect from them or how this is going to play out or anything. To me, like right now, it just seems like it's going to be such a quick arc. Like we're already setting up for a confrontation. But I mean, if they go and kidnap the kids first, then Luffy has to go back and save them. Then I guess that would lengthen out this arc. But yeah, I don't know. I can't wait to get Robin's take on this whole painting and everything. I assume how things are playing out that we're not going to get that till the very very end of the arc. Is she'll finally see this, and if the whole island gets destroyed, maybe like Frankie will have taken a picture or something to show her or something. So I don't know. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to try. Well, I really want to just see the next God's Night of Power because I mean, this is I really am on the ship now of Emu's giving out his powers, so I want to see another one of these come up. So, but yeah, so either way, I really enjoyed this chapter this week. I think everybody did. This was a massive lore drop. So, but yeah, I'm pretty sure we're not on break this week, and so it'll be fun to see the next chapter and everything. So as always, I encourage any comments or feedback or anything. Anybody just wants to talk about my video or me or anything. So, but yeah, stay safe out there. It's gotten really cold here and it's snowing. So, wish y'all the best.